Hello, my name is Retro, and today we're going to do an anime movie review. It will be called Ernest and Celestine. Now, this movie is based on a book on the same title of Ernest and Celestine. It was made by 2012. So this movie, the whole idea of the book is basically racism about two characters who live different societies because of about who they are. In fact, this one about the bears and the mouses. And they never explain why they're racist. It's just, it is the society. It's something that they never dive in what happened, why they have this certain hatred of each other. They never explain. They leave a lot of questions like why. But that's the interesting part. It kind of helps us build the world around it, seeing other families, how they interact, and how they tell stories about the other race. Like how the mouses describe the bears as demons. They eat mouses because it's always hungry. And the bears also describe the mouses as more like a parasite. That if you let one in, hunger them would just come in and wants everything from you. I mean, that's so interesting to see this kind of two worlds explaining what they believe what the other race is. But a lot of this is not the main focus. The main focus is Ernest and Celestine. It's because you see Ernest is a brute, a mean hobo scum of the whole town. I mean, he is kind of unlikable about everybody because he's like, you kind of understand why he's mad all the time. In fact, how the world builds it, that he is destined to be a judge. But one thing, he doesn't want to be judged because it's his family. His family is from a dozen of different judges, and you kind of understand he doesn't want to be a judge, he wants to be a musician. And he is a pretty good artist, like, because he is so interesting seeing that. Also, you have Eloise that does something similar, but her situation is a tad different. She's the orphan, once more, did not explain why she's an orphan. Had this kind of stuck situation that had to be a dentist. But the only thing is, she doesn't want to be a dentist, she wants to be an artist. She wants to draw and create her bare hands. But because the society said you cannot be that, you have to be a dentist. But her main job is taking teeth for little kids and bring it back to the clan. And basically they use the bear teeth to help them to dig in the walls. And in fact, just the walls, in fact, they need to eat, speak, and work with their teeth. But the only problem is their teeth are not as strong. So it makes so much sense. Also, if you notice, the whole story of Eloise is basically the Tooth Fairy. There are two versions of the Tooth Fairy. That's the American version, they're fairies, and the other version that is not Americanized is the Pepe version. The Pepe version is the mouse who take your teeth and give you money with it. But interesting part is the bears lose their teeth and still fairy the mouse. Even tell them the story from the kid under your pillow in an area they can take so they get money. But once more, to them it's just fairy tales. Factually, it's true. They do take their teeth. It's kind of funny this actually happens. Like, oh, they didn't believe that actually the mouse would take the tooth. Obvious reason they need the teeth. And that's just so interesting. And you see this, how the world builds around the idea. And also how these two societies don't like Ernest and Eloise to be friends. Because that's just wrong. That's just messed up. But I love that they don't care. But in fact, at the very beginning, they didn't care about each other. It's one of those relationships they need each other for a certain point. I need him to get this. I need her to get that. And the situation they get out to, they have to escape and go together, like hiding in the woods for a little while. But that time and together, their relationship developed. You see how Ernest is not a bad guy. You see how Ernest is not a crooked person or mean what people told Ernest about mouses. And you love that they're trying to help each other to motivate themselves to be the person they want to be. And that is just so glorious. I enjoy that. It's so it's so giving the fuzzies right here. You just want to smile watching the movie. You love to smile the chemistry of this both characters together. You just, God, it's something that I kind of wish they made a sequel of these two characters. But in fact, how the movie ends, everything what's going on, the fact they're being chased about these two societies because of their friendship and trying to arrest them and tell the other one hidden so they can rent them out to escape to help them out of this situation. But they never did. The loyalty to the together, it's just so interesting. But I kind of wish they explore why the societies don't like each other. I mean, it's just over the years, you could tell over the years they tell stories of their own race about the bears and the mouse, how they tell the story from the bears at their point of view. And they never explain what happened in that sort of situation, why there's just so much hate. Also, I'd like to explain Ernest and Celestine do stuff that is criminalized, like they did rob, but nothing that major, but just that two kind of things. They stole some candy, stole a car, kind of skipped the cops. I mean, they never come back to it. It just sort of happens. And because the situation, what they are in the issue, they have to let them go. Question, okay, what happened? I mean, no, I'm mixing them here. Maybe the book explains more in detail, but once more, you don't know what happened. You don't care about that. The fact how Ernest and Louise convinced the council the situation they're on actually made it more interesting. Now you just enjoy their struggles to make it more fascinating. Whoa! The good and the bad about this series is the animation is kind of cheap and very simple, but it's one of those things that they didn't have the budget, but they made it work. And the fact you notice this kind of art style they use is kind of like Little Stitch watercolors, but instead of using that design as a watercolor design, they used actually the paint as a water design. That it helped have a certain identity that the idea of this movie is about. It's something that it's a simple concept, but the animation made it so worth watching. And the fact how they use this simple, not very expensive animation, but use so many creative things to do with, blow my mind away. In fact, it's the point that two different officers they call and they keep changing back and forth, but using kind of the melting effect for like kind of the watercolor, they're going back to one character, back to the other character, and the way that just astounded me. I mean, every time I watch this animated movie, it just shocked me because I have a short attention span. I can't focus very much on something. I have to take my time. In this movie, I catch my attention all the way to the beginning to the end. It's so, ooh, that's the best way to describe it because it's just so interesting to see. Another good thing is the voice actor did a great job to nail the relationship of Louise and Ernest because their relationship is so entertaining. Their voices nailed the characters. But one thing I did notice, something bad about it, is there about me 2 or 3 times the voices did not match the movement. I don't know because it's the translated to the French to English, they use a word longer than we do, that you just notice. I don't know, they couldn't word or the phrase they're using in French when you translate it to English, they couldn't figure out what to put on or how to say it. You do notice it. It just happened to me 2 times or 3, but it's something that is very briefly shown. The voice acting is accurate, still is impressive. Now, anything else? I leave a lot of questions about the society that feels they want to make a sequel. It deserves to make a sequel. I feel that they need to put more into it. I want to see how this relationship grows and becomes that, especially how the movie ends and the way that Ernest and Celestine are talking about making a book. Yeah, they actually point out where the books come from to make the movie, but how they explain how should make a book and how they lie to each other, don't make it serious. They make the book as cheerful as we can. They're trying to color it a little bit, but I want to see that kind of like the Ernest and Louise trying to sell this book and rewriting the book over and over again because of their personalities, and to see that process. I want to see that kind of sequel if they make a sequel, but it's just awesome. I got nothing really bad to say, not really, just the voicing. Watch this film, it's just amazing. It's one of those films that you have a bad day, this is one of the films that will pick you up. The relationship of these two characters just honestly just blows you away. I got nothing else to say, but the rating, I have to give an honest 9 out of 10. I mean, it's just so happy. This movie just made me so smile. It's just, I highly recommend to watch the series. If you like this video, you would like to see more, you can watch here. Describe below here if you want. I mean, it's up to you. I got nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.